Hello, this is Diana. This is my Trailblazers of the Universe YouTube channel. On my channel, I am helping you fearlessly and unapologetically live your best, most authentic life. I am helping you break through your barriers and transcend limitations you may have. If that sounds good to you, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Today's weekly intuitive message is, it isn't about what's happening to you in life, it's about how you are responding to what's happening to you in life. It is said that the way you respond to a situation or circumstance has the power to change the whole situation. We're all here on this planet to experience life in its fullest. That means the ups, the downs. We might have karmic lessons from past lives. We might have karmic lessons from this life. So it's important to keep an open mind and to kind of go with the flow of everything, right? So things are going to come up that are not pleasant, that are going to trigger you, aren't going to go your way. Part of the test that we have on this planet are how are we responding to these? Are we just reacting off pure emotion, raw emotion, or do we have a little more emotional intelligence and responding from a place of neutrality, responding from a place where we can find solutions to our problems and not just add to the problem or create a problem that doesn't exist. Sometimes when things come up and we're triggered, I heard this expression about playing back a tape. So sometimes someone will say something to you and it isn't even what they're saying. It's that what they are saying triggers a past experience. Maybe it could be a traumatic event, some kind of emotional trauma you had. It could be a feeling of rejection. It could be a feeling of pain, abandonment, some kind of suffering, something that's unpleasant. So it can be easy in these moments, if you're not feeling stable, to react off raw emotion, which then can end up spiraling and really draining a lot of energy from us. Everything we do and say has a trickle effect. It affects everything else, right? So you reacting to something off raw emotion isn't really favorable for you or the other person, can just cause imbalances in your energy field and be really draining. So in these moments, before we react, we need to think, is this really worth the reaction? And how I'm interpreting this, is that really what's going on, or is this actually a trigger from a past experience? Maybe something I haven't resolved or need to let go of that really is actually not even related to this, but sometimes we, in our mind, we twist that into that, and it happens to me all the time. But in these moments, it's important to take a step back and try to be more of the observer. Get out of our emotion, even out of our head, and more into the present moment. So I say maybe get into your body. I say get out of your headspace. Your head's spinning with a bunch of crazy thoughts, right? More into your body, into the present moment. Whatever you can do to ground yourself a little more. If that means taking a step away, going outside, putting your feet in the bare grass, on a walk, getting some fresh air. Because when we say how we react to a situation has the power to change the whole circumstance, then how you are responding to a situation is very important and actually has the power to affect everything, because every decision you make, right, creates your life. It has a trickle effect. The things you say, the actions you take, that leads to that outcome, to that circumstance. We underestimate the power that we have. But imagine all those times when instead of just reacting, you could have just responded from a neutral space. You could take the emotion out of it, take the past experience, and actually respond from a stable place. We are allowing more room for solutions to come up, and think about if you're reacting and then someone else is reacting, it usually becomes toxic and there are no solutions that end up coming up. And this also ties into some of the karmic lessons that we learn. I've gone into some Akashic record. I got a reading with my friends Jackie Lyons, who I'd recommend, by the way. And when I did one of her things, some of the karmic lessons for even family members of mine or people in my lifetime that I had past lives with that have karma that's trickling into this life that's very obvious for me. Part of the karmic lesson is how you are responding to the situation. A family member in particular, like this particular situation was, it's not saying that you're going to be a doormat and let someone walk all over you, but it's more of not giving someone so much of your energy, letting someone drain your energy, setting boundaries when needed, but not giving someone an emotional reaction, not letting someone else's actions and words destroy us. So it takes a lot of emotional intelligence to do that. What I also think it relates to the paradigm shift we have going on right now with stepping out of your ego and more into your heart space, which can be hard to do because the ego wants to be right, wants to be protected, wants to defend itself from any threats. So when we step more into our heart space, which I think that is more in the present moment anyway, the ego is going into the past, the ego is going into the future, what could happen in the future that relates to this traumatic event in the past, and wanting to be right all the time, right, feeling threatened. That's part of stepping more into the heart space too, responding more from a place of compassion and a place of neutrality, understanding. It doesn't mean you agree with the person. It doesn't mean they can walk all over you. It doesn't mean you should not forget how they treated you, but it's just saying, is this really worth my energy? Am I giving so much energy and suffering over this when the person probably doesn't care anyway, to be honest? It's not bothering them. It's literally affecting you more than it's affecting them, even though they might have said the thing to you or whatever, or treat you a certain way. It's like literally holding on to that is actually causing imbalance in your energy field, and holding on to anger only hurts yourself, right? So sometimes we need to forgive people just for ourselves. It's not always for the other person. It's just so we can move on and we can have peace within our soul. Because when these things are unresolved in our energy field, when we're continuing to react to them, you're constantly giving that emotional reaction, and that's an energetic pattern, right? And sometimes when you let go, when you actually do change, maybe you forgive that person, you moved on, right? You set some boundaries. That's what happened with me. And then maybe you get into a relationship or a friendship, or you're with someone that's a similar energy, or just in public, you have a similar situation where it comes up again, that same trigger. It's a similar trigger to what you had with the other person. It comes up again, kind of tests you, like, are you still going to react? How are you going to respond to this? How are you going to react or not? Just having an awareness of it when that feeling is coming up is progress. When you're feeling like you're going to react, that's developing your emotional intelligence. You're saying, oh, this feeling's going again. Oh, I acted this way. Oh, I remember this. This seems pretty similar to how I reacted before, or the feeling I had before I reacted. And then that's when you can step back and you say, is this really worth it? This caused me a lot of pain last time. This actually ruined my whole day. It actually threw me off so much that I couldn't even get done what I need to get done. And I spent all these hours thinking about it, even talking to someone else about it, right? That's still giving an emotional reaction. Even if you didn't emotionally react to that situation, that person, you're talking about someone else. You're thinking about it. I'm just accepting things. Okay, I feel this coming up. I'm allowing my emotion. I'm not suppressing. I'm not resisting. I'm saying, okay, I am feeling this way, but how do I want to respond? Kind of being more stable. And how am I going to respond to this? Is really worth a reaction. What way could I respond that would bring about a solution or a change in the situation? Especially with difficult family members, friendships, relationships. When you have a pattern of acting a certain way, I talk about the karmic patterns, right? How are we going to change the energy pattern of this relationship dynamic? What can we do to change it? When you keep responding a certain way, reacting a certain way over and over again, it's just going to have the same result. It really just drains you. A lot of times it's really not worth it, especially if that person is not going to change. So I talk about wanting to be the change instead. How would the kind of relationship, the ideal relationship you want to have with that person, or friendship, whatever the connection is, how would that highest version of yourself think, feel, and act? And you act in accordance with that. Now, we can't control how the other person is going to respond, but you being the change is giving it the best chance for that pattern to change. And you can maybe clear some karma as well. Really, when things come up, have an awareness, allow the feelings to come up. What is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? And then take a deep breath and you need to step away for a second before you start typing something or snapping. Just taking a step back and thinking about what could bring about a solution, something that could benefit both of us and that could really enhance this connection. You're seeing this on the planet now with a lot of different people. There's a lot of hostility. There's a lot of unresolved emotions. I talked about it being a time when the shadow work on this planet is being kind of forced, right? The things that are been hidden in the dark are coming to light. The unresolved issues, unresolved tensions between people, because the frequency shift is going on, it's coming up to the surface to be revealed. Some people are going through a lot of chaos right now, but there's even divine order in chaos. So what is this trying to teach me? And how can I respond differently? The only way we can change is to be the change yourself and influence others to even change. Even doesn't mean they're going to, but that's how we inspire others, by being the change. That's how we change our lives. That's how we become a different version of ourselves, by responding in a different way than we used to. For this week, I challenge you, a situation that has been probably a pattern for a while, that's been a negative pattern in your life, maybe a connection with somebody or interaction with somebody. How can you improve that? How can you respond and not react? What are you going to do when that comes up again? Because these things are going to keep coming up again and again and again. How are you going to react? How are you going to respond? And sometimes it will come up in different ways and when you least expect it, or you think, oh, I did good, I worked on this, and it comes up again because it's been a pattern for a while. But the more you can create a new pattern, reprogram it, create a new pattern, respond a different way, the more it will improve, and you will see the interaction completely change. The circumstance will change, and you will change. And you might see that situation, that interaction, that person, even, as I would say, vibrates out of your existence, sometimes we move on, then we learn the lesson, the karmic lesson, what we had to learn. Sometimes that person leaves our life, or that negative connection is no longer there, and it does make room for growth. Or sometimes we even bring in people that are on our same frequency more when we let go of things like that, when we resolve unresolved emotional trauma and conflict. That's all I have for today. If you like this video, if you love my content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. I also have a Facebook group, and Instagram, and a TikTok. The links are in my video description and in my channel description. I also offer transformational and spiritual coaching. If you're interested in that, my contact information is in this video description as well. Have a good day. Namaste.